Hey everybody, it's Lynn here from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm going through the fun packs this morning and getting them packaged up so they will be ready to go out. I wanted to sort everything in these as well. So let me show you what's in them. Each pack is built the same, but there will be some differences in pieces because some of it is vintage and it's one of a kind. Each one has a piece of the angel wallpaper, and that is laying on the piece of photo paper. And hopefully it peels off easily. You saw how I did mine, so that's there. If not, you may just have to cut the whole thing. But I put it on that because I feel like it comes off easily. And just be careful, you know, not to bend your sample or whatever. And it will come in this large envelope. There are some textile fabric samples. There's 1, 2, and then we have a piece of the butterfly fabric like I used on the cover of mine. I used the butterfly fabric and then the angel image on top. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of trim, if you will. The velvet ribbon. This is the bright pink crocheted ribbon. There's the pom-pom trim. Some pieces may have 4 poms like mine did, and some may have 5. It's just the way they were cut. And then that piece of gold lace trim. So let's get into the pages. There's a page from a yearbook. There are 2 pages from the recipe book that are both still attached. It makes it very easy to make pages. And then we have a piece of plain paper. We have this pink paper, purple. Here's a pink piece of paper with this trim on the edge, and then the bright pink. And then each one has 2 vintage maps. Many of them are stamped from, you know, the library or whatever that they came from. These are from North Carolina State University. And then we have a music sheet. Let's put that right here for a moment. We have 2 pages from the Alphonse Mucha book. Now these are so wide I had to fold them or they're not going to fit. So they're lightly folded. And then we have, everybody has a large vintage magazine page like this. And then in addition to that, another piece of ephemera. This one happens to be another magazine page. Some of them will have 2 magazine pages. Others may have like a tall ad or whatever. And then we have 6 of the pages from the book about the Tudors. And you can use these to make pages like I did by taping them together. They're the perfect size. Or you can use these to cut out words or whatever. Each one has a page from the bird book that's still attached. Very easy to make a journal page. Each one has a piece of I believe this was from a Tim Holtz pack of scrapbook paper. Beautiful vintage, I think it's wallpaper samples. So they all vary. And then here's a little card that came with these textile fabric samples right at the beginning. I just thought it would be fun to throw that in there. Each one has some sort of trim sample. I did not use the card that mine was on this time because mine was heavy plastic and it wasn't something I could easily cut out, but a lot of times I like to just cut out the little, as you saw, like little rectangles or whatever, staple them on the page to make it look official. But all of these are different. Each one has a piece of paper from a vintage notepad. Each one has an old greeting card. They're all going to be different. This is called the Terminal, 1892. So there's a trolley. It looks like a horse-drawn trolley. Very interesting. I like to just include things like that. You could just cut a strip of it and make something really creative. Then in the envelope, it's just a plain white envelope. I mainly used this to keep these 2 butterfly die cuts flat and not get messed up. And then there's the little cardstock tag. Some of them have holes punched in them and some of them are just flat. You can stick that on like a sticker. As you know, I took the adhesive part off of the back of mine. So there's that. And then in here we have, there's this card and envelope so that we can keep contained these 2 circle cutouts, 2 vintage library cards, 1 old Polaroid picture, And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 playing cards that you can do something with. And then 1 sticker. I think they're all sushi stickers. And I still have a lot of those. Thank you to Laura and Cynthia for sending those to me. The circles and the stickers. Okay, this little bag has got the tiny, tiny beads in it. And you can use the bag for storage for something else. Each one has a little piece of, it almost looks like handmade paper, a really textured paper. And what is in here? So this contains, each one has a pouch. They're all going to be different. When I find pouches for a good price, I just buy them, these little drawstring bags, so that I can keep things in them. Oh, each one has a little tiny piece of this. That was from the trim around one of the pages I used. So I just threw a piece into each pack. So in here we have these samples. The color of this one is maize. It's already got the hole punched. It's nice and heavy. I glued an image on the other side of mine and then did the I cut a circle out of I think it was one of the scrapbook pages. And I glued it on top of some flower petals. So you can make a fun charm with that. There is the other little sample, a bright metal sample, and I glued part of a playing card on the other side of that. Each one has 2 jingle bells, 2 of the glass beads, 1 of the rose beads, a vintage key, and then this chipboard tag. This is the letter I. They're all different letters. No rhyme or reason to that. I just think it's fun to create with things like that. So there's a lot of pieces in here, and with the tutorial and some cardboard and your supplies, you should be able to make a journal with this. Of course, you need binding cord or your supplies like that go with it. But this is a really fun pack. The shipping should not be that much because it is set at 14 ounces, and I made sure that I did not set it at 14 pounds. Again, I'm so sorry that happened on the last pack. I don't know what happened. I think it reverted to the pound thing, because what I do is copy my listing and go through and update all the information from week to week with the fabric packs. And then when I got to the shipping, I knew it was lighter, so I went in and highlighted the ounces, and I thought that what I typed in for 8 ounces was going to go right into that slot, but it ended up being 8 pounds and 10 ounces. That's the size of a baby. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how I did that. I truly apologize. So this is the current fun pack. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, sort these, get them together, and maybe add a few more pictures to the listing. I only have the 1 picture right now, but the listing is active on Etsy if you would like to order this. And I will be back really soon. Bye for now.